goals, dreams and goals, dreams and goals, get results.
So we are here. We are live with the DG show with Stormy, Coach Stormy, and the glasses and the bling and everything. Like, that's amazing.
Thank you.
You have been the most fashion, yes, no offense, but you've been the most fashion-oriented guest. I love it. The best dressed, blinged out, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like to dress up and feel good. I believe feeling good is a strategy. So when I dress up, I feel great.
Yeah, I don't think I could pull those glasses off, but I would try.
All right.
Just because, yeah.
You want to see?
Yeah. Oh, let's see.
Let's see how they look on you. They got butterflies on the side.
I'll make that. How is it? You got it? Yeah, see? I feel like, hey, come on with it, bro. How you doing? How you doing? How you been?
Okay.
See?
Nothing. That's what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying?
Where'd you get those?
Dior. These are from Dior, Christian Dior.
Okay. How are you today?
I'm great. Excited to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry that we were late. I was like, hey, come in, and I guess you didn't see the
No,
message.
it's perfect time. I was able to get me some coffee and get a little something to eat because I haven't had no food all day. So perfect timing.
It's no food all day. So what did you eat?
So I had a latte, a white mocha latte with a warmed up cheese Danish.
The cheese Danish is my favorite thing at Starbucks.
It's very dangerous. You got to be careful because you can gain some weight with that Danish.
You can. I think we gained a little bit of weight on the trip. We've been eating a lot out here, and I'm not proud of myself. I'm not.
So you know, if I would have known, I would have bought you some of my detox juice. I said a detox juice make you lose 5 pounds in days.
I need that.
I'll mail you some.
I appreciate that. So what do you do for people that don't know? What do you do?
So I do a lot of things. I am a serial entrepreneur. I started off in network marketing. I'm still in network marketing right now, actively building a team all over the world.
Love it.
Many people know me from network marketing. I've been in network marketing now for almost 16 years.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I've coached 139 first generational millionaires in less than 16 years with a 10th grade education. So I do it my way. And I'm grateful because of my results. It validates that I know a little something about transformation and creating economic elevation everywhere. I've written 4 books. I have 4 bestsellers.
Wow, let's go.
Thank you. I think I have a book for you. I have a community called Girl Hold My Hand. It's all about knowing yourself, loving yourself, and embracing yourself. So I create an environment where women and men can remember who they are if they forgot, or find out who they are if they need to remember that new person that they have become.
I love that. Was it Girl Hold My Hand?
It's called Girl Hold My Hand.
Okay.
We meet every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. So people in my community have a place to recalibrate every day. Mm-hmm. I think that's very important as an entrepreneur, to not let yesterday's problem come into today's pleasures.
Yeah.
And then I'm an investor. I've invested in real estate. I'm one of Grant Cardone's largest investors. So I have passive income that comes from real estate. But the thing that gets me excited right now is that I'm showing people how to make income online by creating digital products from getting paid from what they already know. So a lot of people right now are trying to figure out what to do. And I have many different vehicles that they could have as an opportunity.
I should have asked you what you don't do. That would have been easier for you to answer, maybe.
No, I didn't really say a lot. Network marketing.
Yeah.
I have a community, and I teach people how to make money with digital products.
I love that. Cover all the bases.
And I'm an investor.
You said something, 2 things. One, you said, I think, don't bring yesterday's problems into today, right? For people out there, because you're a coach, and then people struggle with that. That's a huge thing, right?
Yep.
People dwell on their problems. It is crazy, like, how long they dwell.
Yep.
And I feel like successful people, they reduce the time from problem happening, solution, and getting over it, right? They minimize it. Instead of going days, maybe it goes hours, then you get to minutes. How do you, for one, maybe help yourself do that, right? How do you do that yourself? And then how do you teach people to do it?
First of all, I believe that I'm a chosen one, right? And as a chosen one, you're going to have problems. But as soon as you have a problem, you know the solution to the problem. And most of us, we do know the solution to the problem. Every problem we have, we really do know the solution. But the question is, do you want to pursue the solution? Is it that your emotions is high, so your logic is low, that's why you won't pursue the solution? Is it that you're being lazy, why you won't pursue the solution? Is it that you are doubtful, why you won't pursue the solution? I believe in my heart of all hearts, every problem that we all have, because we all are going to have problems, we know the solution. So number one, the knowingness of that. Like, I don't allow myself to be a victim. I dropped out of school in the 10th grade. I had my first child when I was 15. I am a product of the foster care system. I lived in foster care for like 2 years. I know what it feels like to be, molested. I know what it feels like to be on food stamps, to be on Section 8. I know what struggle feels like. And I can give you every reason why I could be a statistic right now. From being divorced, I have 3 kids from 3 different men. I've been through depression, through suicide. If I told you that I was struggling and broke and fat and depressed, you would be like, I get it. But that's not my story. So I believe that man is maker of himself. Man is made and unmade by his daily choices and decisions. And so every day I choose to not be a victim. And I think that, I teach people many different ways to do that. That's what I teach at The Awakening. It's not a one answer, but it's really, I boil it down to this. Understanding that we're all gonna have problems. That's a part of the process of life. But do not be a victim to the problem. Know that polarity exists, which means you can find the solution. And don't depend on anybody else to do what you were supposed to do yourself.
Yeah, and decisions like me and my brother, prime example. Mom's a crackhead, my mom's a meth head, like still. Don't know my father, don't know his name, like at all. Like you could bet me everything in the world, and I don't know his name. I lived on a park bench at 14. I was homeless, like everything. Dad beat us, abused us, all that stuff, stepdad. And so 2 situations. I have a $100+ million company, and my brother's sitting in jail right now. He's gonna go to prison. He's facing I think we looked the other day, it was like 41 charges, like total, like parole violation, but all this stuff. And it's like, look, it's the tale of 2 tapes. It's like we were both born into the same situation, in the same circumstances, with the same DNA. And, and you make this decision of which way you want to go. But like you said, a lot of times you just don't want to face it. And we were talking about that earlier. The demons just get bigger the harder you run from them. So, the more you run from them, they just get bigger. And then eventually you don't want to face them because you're there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's tough. When did you make a decision, or did something happen to you where you're like, you know what, I'm not going to be a victim, and I'm even because like you had every reason. The same with me. It's like, back in the day when I was a screw up, people were like, I knew it. And I'm like, but they were right,
Exactly. Exactly.
Was there something that happened to you that made that switch?
A lot of things happened to me. It depends on what time you're talking about. I could go back to thinking about when I was 13 years old, and my mom was in Jamaica. She had got caught up. My mom not only sold drugs, but she trafficked her own drugs.
Oh, wow.
So she didn't trust nobody to take her drugs to the destination because she was scared they was gonna lie and all that kind of stuff. I remember the conversation like it was yesterday. And so I remember my mom went to Jamaica, and for whatever reason she got stuck there. And she left us, me and my brother, with her boyfriend. And while she left us, her boyfriend didn't do anything to make sure we have food, to make sure, even the lights. I remember the lights got cut off while she was gone.
Yeah.
The water got cut off while she was gone. And I was 13 years old, and I had to figure out how to turn the water back on, how to get food to eat. And that was my first time in a strip club. Somebody came up to me, and I was in a strip club, and he goes, I'll give you $600 if you lift up your skirt. And at first I felt disrespected and humiliated. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's $600. I could pay the $300 light bill. I could pay the water bill, and I could buy some food. And so that was my first time really learning how to leverage and have survival skills at 13. And so that shifted my mindset. And then, when I started dancing, like I was a real dancer by the age of like 14.
Wow.
I would go to school during the day, and at night I had a fake ID. They didn't know I was underage. And I would go right here, Club Rolex Ecstasy, right here in Fort Lauderdale, in Miami here, and I would dance. And that was when I first learned how to survive, how to figure things out. And, there's a lot of, parents that may watch this YouTube video or wherever you may hear this podcast. Our kids, I believe they learn from watching us, right?
100%.
And so I could be a stripper right now, but when I gave birth to my daughter, who was my second child at 19, I decided that I did not want to be that example for her. So me just deciding, to be responsible, me seeing the difference, when you hang around people that are on drugs or they're lazy or they give up on life and you see where that takes them, for me, that's the greatest example. Me watching my friends, I have the same situation. My siblings are not successful. They're alive right now today, and they still trying to figure it out. We have the same parents. I just told my brother this morning. Me and you have the same DNA. We have the same mom. We have different dads, but why am I successful and you're not? I made a decision, and I told him, like, I fight every day. I'm not up here just like I've arrived and it's over with and just, bow down to Stormy Wellington. No. Every day I'm still fighting to reinvent myself, to figure out, am I doing what I'm called to do? Am I doing it with excellence? Am Am I showing up the way I'm supposed to? So it's not a thing like I'm done and I've arrived. I'm still working on it, and I'm still learning through every experience.
Do you think people ever arrive? I have a theory that I don't think people ever arrive, and the people have downfalls that think they arrived. Do you ever think you'll arrive, or do you think people actually arrive?
No, I think it's no finish lines. I think it's no finish lines. I think that you either evolve or dissolve.
100%.
I've seen people ultra successful and now you forgot who they was.
Yeah.
Then I've seen people get to a level and climb even higher and you still forgot who they was because they became somebody greater. So no, I think that there is a misconception that there is a finish line. But I think not for me. I'm never gonna retire. I'm never gonna just throw in a towel. No, I'm gonna continue being Stormy Wellington until the day I die. I would die fighting for better.
I love that. How do you, so I think, so there's a lot of people look up to you, right? A lot of people go, you're coaching. You said how many first generation millionaires?
139.
139. So like 139 people that you have track record on. There's probably thousands more, right? That look up to you, that are in there. How do you, Stormy, constantly coach yourself and evolve to get better, right? Because when you're at the top, here's the struggle that everybody comes to you with their problems. Everybody comes to you with what they want, right? And you're constantly, it's not in a negative way, but you're constantly coaching down.
Yes.
And you're constantly coaching through bullshit because you're only dealing with their problems. They don't typically call you and go, hey, today was great. I made all the money. Nothing bad happened. I'm struggling. How can you help me? I'm going through this. How do you protect yourself, your mental stability, and constantly grow and evolve so you can be better for your people?
That's a great question. First of all, I'm never comfortable. Like, I'm never comfortable. I constantly, this is what I teach, right? How does one change? How does one change? Words, images, emotions, environments, and experiences. I constantly change my words by, first of all, who I hang around. I'm very particular about my relationships and the people I allow access to speak to me. I'm the type of person, you could say something wrong, and as you're saying it, I would tell you, I cancel and delete what you're saying right now. I do not receive that. I don't agree, because your ear gates has an inroad to your heart. So once you heard it, you can't unhear what you heard. You can't unsee what you've seen. So what if you see it or you heard it and you didn't mean to? So I will cancel and delete at right on the spot. You'll think I'm crazy to the point where you'll be like, did she just do that? Yeah, because I want to make sure I don't remember that, or my subconscious mind does not retain that. Because I've been a product of my environment before. I mean, that's how I became a stripper. That's how I was a shoplifter. All my friends were shoplifting, I became a shoplifter. All my friends was doing schemes and scams and stealing people's identity, so I did the same thing. So I know for a fact the impact environment can have on you. I'm very in particular where I go. I'm very in particular what I consume, not just food. I mean, what I see, what I hear. And I'm always in an environment where either I have a mentor there or it's an environment of elevation, right? For example, I own a Rolls Royce Cullinan. Black
I heard
badge.
you're giving one away.
I'm giving one away.
God,
I'm giving one away. I'm giving one away.
That's awesome.
But thank you. So I drive a Rolls Royce Cullinan, right? I took my Rolls Royce to get service, and I'm like, give me another car. Give me a loaner. Like I done bought 3 Rolls Royces from you guys. Don't just send me home with no loaner. I need a loaner. So first they were gonna give me the Rolls Royce Spectra, right? Last minute, like very last minute, the Rolls Royce Spectra, right? Last minute, very last minute, we can't give you that. We forgot that it has to go out of town. I'm like, okay, I understand that, but you guys told me you're gonna give me something. I need something of equal or higher value. You got a Lamborghini, you got a Ferrari, what do you have?
Something. Minivan, I don't think so.
You understand? Like I'm putting down my foot. I am commanding and demanding you send me home with something. Long story short, they sent me home with a Rolls Royce Cullinan, but it's better than my Rolls Royce Cullinan. And you may say, wait a minute, you have a black badge, it's a black badge. Let me tell you what I'm saying to you. The color is different. It has stars in the roof. It has a computer that you let down in the back. It has a desk in the back. And you may think, okay, what does that have to do with what I'm saying? I'll tell you right now. I don't want my Rolls Royce back.
You want that one?
I want that
Yeah,
one.
you want to upgrade.
I want to upgrade.
Yeah.
So because I got in the environment of that upgraded Rolls Royce, it has not only made me want that one, but it's already changed the way I want to work. I want to work different. I'm calling people that I haven't talked to in a long time. It's like, because I realized that the work is what's going to give me the money to afford this Rolls Royce. So I'm always putting myself in environments that makes me have to grow and go harder, not just for me, but, so I'll tell you something. I read an article about 3 years ago on Black Enterprise. It was real tiny off to the corner. And you know I'm a black woman, right?
I didn't know that.
All right, I'm just making sure.
Because I can't see the shades.
I'm just making sure.
I can't see. I didn't know. Oh,
I'm
God,
just making sure we don't have any mistakes.
Yeah.
But in this article, it said that black wealth is going to go to zero by 2053. And I can't unhear what I heard. I can't unsee what I
It said
saw.
black wealth is going to go.
Black wealth
It's going to go to zero.
is going to go to zero by 2053 because it actually told you why. Because black people don't want to learn nothing new. They're stuck in their ways.
Who wrote the article?
It was a well-known economist
Okay.
in Black Enterprise.
Right.
For me, I don't even care who wrote it. The mere fact that it was in there and I read it, it charged me up to now feel responsible to make
help,
sure
yeah.
that black wealth doesn't get to zero by 2053. So
Yeah.
I allow things to happen for me versus to me. I don't let pain, discourage me. Pain pushes me.
Yeah.
I tell people my failures is my blueprints. That's how I learn. I fail and I learn from it.
Failure way to success.
That's right.
Yeah. It's funny because was it yesterday? Yesterday, the day before. When did we go on the boat? Day before? Yeah. So we went on the boat, right? And we're just going through, and we're not from here, right? And we don't have this in Texas, not like that, like on the water. And we get through the end, like where it opens up, obviously the big houses, the 40, 50. And I'm standing up and I'm like shaking and I'm texting my business partner. And I was like, yo, bro, we haven't done shit.
Exactly.
I haven't fucking accomplished anything.
Exactly.
He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I thought you were in Fort Lauderdale on the boat. I was
Exactly.
like, I'm sending him photos. And he was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, you don't understand. Like, I have a fire in my soul right now because while I'm on a boat, this dude relaxing, this dude's outworking me.
Hello.
And he
He said
has
that.
that. And I'm
Come
like,
on.
I was so mad. But then what's crazy was there's people that are like, oh, that guy's lucky, or they're jealous. And I'm like, I don't have that. It makes me like, and I'm in a really good spot from where I came from to where I'm at. People are like, Dustin, you've accomplished so much. I'm like, I haven't accomplished anything. I still have so much more to go. And when I see that, it's like with that, it's like, I'm the opposite. Like when my wife got a loaner car, so my wife had to get a loaner car, I was like, please give her a minivan, get downgrade, because I knew when they gave her an upgrade, guess what happened?
She gonna want to buy it.
We were buying a new car.
Exactly.
And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And so, but we did. And of course she won. But then the last time she just ordered, because we have 3 kids, so she did the custom Escalade. And they had like called and they're like, oh, well, we don't have that. We're going to give you this. And I was like, hey man, I'm telling you right now, if you know what's best for you, bro, do not call my wife and tell her that. You better just find
Exactly.
something, because that's not going to fly. He's like,
pissed.
well, Mr. Good, I go, dude, hey, listen, I'm buying what you're selling, bro. It all makes sense. But I am telling you, that's not going to, guess what? After they got off the phone with her, there was the car she wanted delivered to the house. I was
That's
like,
how it works.
But it is. He wants to upgrade, but then it sold. It bought her a car.
I love it.
You said, I love, the reason why I'll tell you I love this is you said do it my way. And we were just talking about that. It's like, I don't want boundaries, right? I don't want to be niche. I felt like we were talking about like getting in the rooms and you got to dress a certain way. And I'm like, that's not me, man. That's not who I am. I just bought my first suit like the other day. I'm like, I dress this way no matter where I go. And I'm like, I don't want to be in handcuffs. I don't want to be like in that. And I said, when I sell my company, and not when I'm done, but when I get to a world where I'm like kind of distant, I'm going to play Elvis my way, because through it all, I did it my way.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, I like the Elvis version. I was playing. I like the Elvis version,
I
but
gotta
Frank,
listen to the Elvis version. I never heard
you
it.
haven't heard it?
I gotta hear
It's
it
great.
today.
It is just you could just hear it in his voice, like you could tell, because he obviously went through a lot.
Yep.
And I'm like, you could hear it in his voice when he sings it, like, hey, they tried to arrest me for dancing. They tried to, I broke social, like you could just hear like, and I'm like, man, when I'm done, like I did it my way. So you said you do it your way. What's your way?
Wow. So I am very different. First of all, I am very aware that people judge me a lot. And I love it, actually, because when you judge me, I'm going to prove you wrong, and you're going to eventually realize that thou shalt not judge. So when I say my way, I am the one that is representing the least, the last, and the lost. There's a lot of people out there from my community. When I say my community, I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about the least, the last, and the lost. We're like a family, and when we meet each other, we're like, let's go,
Yeah.
Because we can feel each other through pain. I tell people pain is an amazing connector. My pain and your pain transcends color.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
not white pain and black pain, and I learned that through the years, right? So when I tell you my pain and you tell me your pain, it's like, dang, you went through that too.
Yeah,
as a
you
black
know,
woman.
yeah.
man, you went through that as a white man. Yeah, I went through that as an Asian. I went through that as a Norwegian man. You went through that as a Haitian man. You went through that. So it starts to make you realize pain doesn't have any barriers. So when I say my way, it's like I am very tough. I'm very aggressive. I'm very money loves speed. I'm very big on leadership. Like my work ethic, you'll sometimes be trying to figure out, do you ever sleep? You know, like I'm very unorthodox. My strategies is very unorthodox. However, I've learned the foundation of everything from a mentor. Like I'm not just out here figuring things out and messing stuff up like a lot, like I used to. I find the strategy from a mentor that I like their results. And then once I try it exactly how they told me to do it, I'm gonna tweak it. I call it TMT. I try, measure, tweak. So I'm gonna try it exactly how you tell me to do it, but then I'm gonna put my little sauce on it because at the end of the day, I am a black woman. So there's certain things that I can't do exactly how you do it. I can't say it exactly how you said it. But at the end, we're gonna get to the same result, which is ultimately freedom. My goal is to be one of the most impactful women that ever lived while living a quality of life and doing whatever I want for myself and for others. I don't ever want to feel like I am restricted because this person got to cut me a check or I got to do this because I need this group of people to like me. So I'm big on I'm big on creating this freedom to the point where I could be like,
seriously,
you.
yeah, no,
like straight up.
I had someone, one of my really good friends, and he's super successful, goes, you're always unapologetically yourself.
Yes.
No matter where you are, no matter what room you're in. And I was laughing last night because we went to this dinner with Patrick Bet-David, right? Patrick Bet-David's like a big, they're like every dude in there was with a 3-piece suit, right? And that's just not who I am. And my wife's like, what are you gonna wear? And I'm like, what do you think I'm gonna wear? And I was like, I'm just gonna be different. So I wore J's, chain, t-shirt, and I wore a cowboy hat to throw him off because I'm from Texas. And I was looking around and I was laughing. I'm like, all you guys wore this because of you wore it because of the room you were in. I guarantee you 90% of y'all don't wear a 3-piece suit every day.
Exactly.
You were just trying to fit in because Pat does, right?
Exactly.
But it's not who you are. And I'm not going to walk in that room and wear a 3-piece suit because I want you to like me. If you don't like me because I'm wearing a fucking chain, fuck off, man. Like, I couldn't care less because I probably wouldn't be your friend anyways. And we probably wouldn't have anything. And what you find is the weirdest thing is when I tried to impress everyone, because I went through that stage. I went through that stage of the dirt poor white trash kid. That it was funny. I didn't even really have white friends until I got older where I lived. So I didn't even understand racism. I was like, whoa, this is a real thing when I got older. I was like, holy shit, like people do judge you. Like it was crazy. Yes. And so I didn't know, but then I was outcasted because I was the dirt poor kid that grew up on the other side of the tracks. And so I didn't really have a lot of friends. And so when I got older, I was like, man, how do I make friends? Well, I would lie. I would say, oh, I knew my dad and my dad was this. And I would try to dress a certain way because I wanted to fit in. And what I found was I didn't fit in with anyone. Wow. Then no one wanted to be my friend. And finally, it was just like, dude, fuck all you guys, man. If you don't like me, great. And then when I started being authentic, then people that I never thought in a million years,
liked you then.
They loved me. And I'm like, dude, I spent my whole life trying to impress you. And now because I think when you're authentic, people can sense that and they want to be around authentic people because it's like a breath of fresh air, no matter what they say.
Authenticity carries the highest frequency.
Absolutely.
And I used to be just like that. Imposter syndrome, thinking that I had to dress like they wanted me to dress. And I tell you, I lost a lot of people when I became the true Stormy Wellington. But now that I look at it, I didn't lose nobody, they lost me.
Yeah.
So I just changed my perspective. And now look, it's not a day that goes by that I don't do something or say something and I be like, damn, Stormy, you the shit. I celebrate myself every day.
Love that.
Every day I celebrate something I did. Like even seriously, like me getting this Rolls Royce for a loaner, I didn't take no for an answer. Like they don't have to give you a loaner to get when you get your car service. I just I commanded it, and I commanded it because I deserve it. You know what I mean? So I believe that you look at that word deserve. If you check out the definition of deserve, it literally says in the definition itself. Deserve means reward or punishment. So some people do deserve to be punished. But then you got people like myself, I'm speaking for me, that I do so much good in the world that I deserve to be rewarded. So I don't ever worry about things not working out for me. So if you don't like me, because how I dress, or you judging my tattoo on my leg, or whatever you want to judge, I really don't care. And if you do like me, I don't care either way. I don't care if you like me or if you don't like me. None of it matters to me.
Yeah.
I like me.
Exactly. No, I did the same things. I had a really good friend the other day. We were talking about someone that was very successful, influential, and I was singing the guy's praise, right? And he was like, you know you're better than him, right? And I was like, what? And it like really struck me like and he was like, no, you are. He's like, the day you realize it. And for me, it's not, I don't think I'm better than anyone. I'm just trying to be better than what I used to be. And I'm just trying to get a little bit better every day. And so I always, because I have this weird thing of, I feel like most people look at others' shortcomings and then we only look at our strengths, right? So I'm going to stand over here and say, well, I can't believe he's not organized. I'm so organized. Right. But that person's like a top level sales guy that's crushing, but you don't see that, right?
Exactly.
I'm the complete opposite. I look at my weaknesses because that's where I know I'm exposed. And I always look at other people's strengths because if I could learn something from them, like how much better could I be? So I have this constant, like, I'm always seeking, like, if you're doing something well, like, I'm gonna try to take it from you to be better, right? And I'll always look at that. And I think most people though do the opposite, and that's where they get caught because they almost get, like, I can tell you're proud of yourself and you love what you're doing, but it's not an arrogance, it's a confidence, and I think it's different. I don't feel like you think you're better than people. I feel like you think you're just, you know what path you're going on, and then people that don't understand that, they take it as an arrogance but they don't know where they're going. I'm like, for me, I just don't care what you say good or bad because I know where I'm going. Right. So whatever the fuck you do, it doesn't matter. I'm going there, and I know I'm going to get there. It's not about me competing with you. It's about me competing with where I'm going. Right. People can't handle that.
Yeah, you know, as a black woman who dropped out of school in 10th grade, I know for a fact that there are people that can't handle my success, and they can't handle it because they think that I shouldn't be where I'm at. And if they don't like it, it doesn't matter. I know that many people want to put their limitations on you. Yeah. And if you don't look at me as a source of inspiration, if you don't look at me like a hero, that's a personal issue that you have with you. And a lot of people, you know, especially when you start growing, you start evolving, either they're gonna join you or they're gonna hate you.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it doesn't matter to me. If you ain't got no haters, that means you ain't popular.
You ain't doing anything. And it's like a lot of you have these people, you said it, and I was talking about this the other day. They were saying, well, I deserve more, right? It's the deserve. I said the same thing. Well, you know, sometimes deserve means you deserve less. Like, we always just tend to look at, I deserve, so it means more. Sometimes deserve means less. And a lot of times it's like you're getting, the reason you're in the situation you're in is because you're a piece of shit. You're not treating people the right way, and that's why you're not getting what you need to do, because karma's a real thing. You actually get what you give, and you're not giving it there. And then I do want to talk about this because I think this is a huge topic right now. You said girl hold my hand, your group. I want to talk about that because I got into an interesting conversation the other day about, the guy ironically got brought up about WNBA. And I was like with Kate Clark, and I was like, even these rookies, I was like, why aren't women being more supportive with each other? Why don't embrace other women having success? Like, to me, I feel like a lot of women try to bring each other down when they see someone having success. So you're doing something to help. I know you said men and women, but girl hold my hand. What is that about, and how is it helping other women? Because I think it's a huge, huge thing where if women can help other women, there's more things like that. It could be huge for the women out there trying to do, you know, big stuff. Because if you look at a lot of these like masterminds and groups, it's a lot of men heavy, right? And so if you can talk a little bit about that.
It's very interesting because I've been thinking and talking about that a lot lately. And I'm trying to find within my soul like the root of why so many women are jealous and intimidated by each other. And I speak for me, in the black community, you see it a lot. And I think it comes from our childhood. You know, a lot of us, we didn't grow up with a lot of beautiful examples of women coming together, of women supporting women. As a matter of fact, right now, I asked you to name me a pair of women that you could think of outside Oprah and Gail.
I was going to say Oprah. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. What, Beyonce?
And who?
Yeah.
Right, so there's no...
Even like a lot of, you know, women in general, right?
So I don't look at everybody, but you gotta remember I'm looking at what's happening close to home to me. And you don't see a lot of pairs in the black community.
100%.
So I could only speak for what I understand. And I could tell you, as a young girl, we were put against each other as kids. You know, this one got a bigger booty than this one. This one got long hair than this one. You know, this one get all the guys and this one doesn't get nobody. So from a kid, I've watched and remember being in those type of situations. And so I don't always have the answer, but I know I have the solution. And my solution is the community. Like, people don't realize you get more out of empowering people than disempowering.
Yes.
And I learned that. So in network marketing, just so you know, I recruited almost 14,000 people in my company. Right. I'm like 85% of my whole company.
You got a city, you're like a city limits. That's made that 14,000.
So I said it to you just to say that because it helps you understand there's a pull that I have to people.
Yeah.
I am very influential, very impactful, but I'm also very transformational. And I think it's because things don't happen to me, they happen for me.
Absolutely.
So I take everything, like, there are women right now in the world that knows what it feels like to be married and divorced. And when you find people like myself that try to build certain type of communities, I don't think you should be building something that you never overcame yourself. So I know what it feels like to be married and divorced. So, come on, girl, I got you, come here. I know what it feels like to be broke, married, have a baby, and then become successful, and then all of a sudden the daddy gonna try to get you for child support. So it's like, now I have that influence on those women. I know what it feels like to have imposter syndrome and have low self-esteem, but I'm not that anymore. So, but I understand those women. So it's like, come on, come over here to me, I got you. I know what it feels like to feel unsupported, unprotected, and alone in the world. So I know how to be all things, like Paul in the Bible, right? I'm gonna give a story. Paul in the Bible says, I become all things to all men so that I can win a few. You've heard that scripture in the Bible?
No, I haven't heard that.
So there's a scripture in the Bible that says, I become all things to all men so that I can win a few. So when I think about me, I've been through everything and came out of it before a girl hold my hand.
Yeah.
So I watched my mom in August 26, 2011, literally take her last breath. I thought my mom was coming home that day. I went to the hospital to bring her home. Instead, I watched my mom take her last breath. I lost myself, so I was holding her hand. So I've been through that. I've been through being in the world and literally had pills in my hand about to take the pills to get myself. So I've been through everything that a woman can deal with. I've been in abusive relationships, mentally, verbally, physically, right? I've been through betrayal. I've been through being rich and poor. So it's like, I know every feeling. I've been through every feeling. And I remember praying and was like, if I could get out of this mentally and spiritually and financially and relationally, I won't forget to go back and help the woman that I used to be. And so that's what Girl Hold My Hand is about. Girl Hold My Hand is about, used to be the person suicidal girl in school. But look at me now, I got you. I'll show you what I did. Hey, you got insecurity issues and, suicidal and depression issues. Me too, girl. I used to be like that too. I know exactly how to fix that. So I've invested almost, $2 million in my personal development in the last 15 years. Wow. I've been a part of Tony Robbins as a platinum partner. Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, just like I'm big on personal growth and development. Yeah. And so because I've learned the tools and the strategies, I went to this meditation camp and we couldn't talk for like 1 week. That's how I learned the power of meditation, how to go within,
That would kill me. I feel like I'm going to be violent. It's like my torture. I can't talk.
I was already down, so I needed something. I needed to be calibrated from within, And I felt the same way until I went and it was like, oh shit, it's a whole new life out here. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say, I used to be every woman, and because I'm not, I know how to help her get out of her head and into her life, and that is what the community is about. Now I attract amazing people. Like me sitting on your couch today is like, this isn't happening for me a lot. So the tagline for Girl Hold My Hand is, know yourself, love yourself, embrace yourself in order to authentically connect, collaborate, and celebrate. So right now, I'm connecting with you. Yeah. We're collaborating on this show, and we're celebrating each other back.
100%.
But if I didn't know myself, love myself, and embrace myself, you couldn't give a shit about talking to me. Exactly. I wouldn't be on your couch if I didn't become somebody who would be on your couch.
Exactly. So
these are the things that I deserve. Because it's the reward of who I became. You see what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So I teach people how you start, how you have to finish. But here's the things to do, and you can do it right now, and your life could change in 90 days. Like I have a way in which your life could change in 90 days. Financially and everything.
Yeah, but what people don't see is you didn't become this person overnight.
Oh, yeah. I became this person night by night.
Exactly. And how long did it take you? And I know it's obviously always evolving, but how long has it taken you to get to this point?
It's always evolving. Mm-hmm. I'm still getting, I'm not done. But right now, I'm 44. And I would say the more evolved, mature, responsible, principle-driven, compassionate, I understand person, it took me 43 years.
Yeah, it's right.
I just got here within the last year. I become this new Stormy.
And I say that you said you made a decision when you're 19, right? And
No. When I made a decision to do what?
Like you said, you made a decision to kind of start make that change. Is that what
Which change you talking about?
just to get out of the environment you're in?
So no. I moved to Atlanta when I was 27.
Okay.
And I'm from Miami. And Miami is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
As you can see, my city is beautiful. But in Miami, you see, especially back then, a lot of Latino success. You didn't see a lot of black successful people in Miami. Now you're seeing that a little bit more. But in Atlanta was like the black mecca. In Atlanta, I saw Bentleys and Mercedes and Range Rovers. And so that was about the age of 27 when I got into this new environment. And that's when I realized that how much environments can impact you.
Yeah. But do you still, or for a while, for me, even today, I'm 41, and I'm like, where I came from, I'm like, we settle differences or issues differently. And so sometimes I catch myself like, well, like, it's different.
You fight when you kill somebody.
Whatever it took, right? Like it was hey, whatever it took,
Yeah.
And I was like, people think that you make a decision to change, and it just happens, and it doesn't, right? And it's hard because, especially like when you don't grow up with a father, especially I feel like as a man, the hardest. I didn't grow up until I had my son at 35. I was a child because I've never had a father figure tell me how to act, and so my entire life, no one ever really corrected my behavior.
Wow.
So I had to learn it on my own. And I think your environment can really dictate that. And I think for people that are struggling out there, for anyone who's struggling, you might make that decision at the age to move away, but you're still going to deal with those behaviors because you've been dealing with them most of your life. Like for me, I remember, like 30 years old when I met my wife, and she came from a good family, like family values, and I'm the dad's a cop, hated me. He ran my records. Like, you're never going with this dude. And I'm like, it was, but I didn't know how to act. Even though people were like, you're 30, you have this job, you have this career, you should act a certain way. I'm like, but you don't know where I'm from. And so, how did you struggle with that change? Did you make the move, right? For how long did it take you to really start? Because it is like, even though you moved to a different environment, so I moved away from that. But here was the problem. It wasn't now my environment, it was me. Because I was the guy making the stupid choices in the new environment. And I had to really correct it. And it was a struggle. And sometimes even today, like, something will happen and I'm like, oh, do I want my son making that choice? No, so I better not do it, right? Like you said, how long did you struggle with that to where sometimes, like, in a new environment, you wanted to maybe act as your old environment? How did you get over that?
That's good. First of all, I believe that the decision to change happens in an instant, but the process is endless.
Forever.
It never says endless. And so, interestingly enough, right now, I do this thing called observing myself. I observe myself, in third, I'm Stormy Wellington sitting here, but I can see myself sitting here. Does that make sense?
I thought I was crazy, and I talked about this, but I 1,000% understand what you're saying.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. So, I still do that to this day. My
Yeah.
point is, I would catch what I would have said. Like, let's say, you just asked me a question. The old me would have like, man, fuck that shit. I don't care about that. But I heard myself say that, and I come back and say, well, that doesn't sound right. Don't say it, so I'm say it like this.
Yeah.
So I'm still doing that right now. I'm still correcting myself. Like, I'll get in an environment, and I'll be in the environment, and I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
My old stuff like it, and I'm like, I just want to I can't be here. So I'm always observing myself, paying attention, asking myself why. This is something that I learned that truly made a big impression on me. I ask myself why for everything. Like, even on the way here, like, why were you doing this? And when she started telling me your story about your dad and moving company, and now I know why I'm going. Because I'm like you. It's not about the money. I love the connection. I love the conversation. I love the relationship that could come from the connection. And so why am I here? Is because my goal is to get into as many audiences and new people that don't know me that can hear my story and say, wait a minute. She dropped out of school in 10th grade. She had a 10th grade education. She was on Section 8 food stamps week. She was a stripper, a schemer, and now she's a wealth coach that coached 139 women. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So for me, it just, I still do it to this day. I still say, I should slap shit out of her ass. And then I go, but if I slap her, what's going to happen? I'm going to slap her. Did she just say that? And I was like, who you? I'm Stormy Wellington. I'm a host Stormy. I have written 4 books. And I post 130 So I slap her right now. That is not going to look right for me. So you know what, Stormy? Don't slap her.
Yeah.
So I still go in that right now.
I had that.
Right now.
Was it last night or today? Last night I almost slapped the fuck out of this dude. I slapped him. He didn't deserve me to hit him. And I was remember I was sitting there and I'm like, bro, you don't even have any idea. I was literally hurt. And I'm just sitting there like, don't do it.
Right.
My wife's not gonna bail me out of jail. My kids will think I'm different. But
it never ends.
It doesn't end. But you know what's crazy? Okay, what you said. I had these guys reach out to me the other day. I'm on this app called Manect, and it's like you should get on it for what you're doing, by the way.
What is it?
It's called Manect, and it's Patrick David's app, and it's for users and experts, right? So you're an expert in your field, and I'm telling you correct experts, and you charge people to ask you questions. So it could be like a text question is a certain price, and then if you do a video, it's a higher price, and if you do a call, right? And it's phenomenal.
Put me on.
Yeah, you got to download it with Manette, and they have different fields, right? Like coaching, everything, real estate, and there's not a lot of women on it, and so I think it'd be huge. So I had these guys reach out to me the other day, and they just heard my story about being homeless, and they were like, "Hey, we're in Seattle. We are acquiring an old abandoned strip club, and we're remodeling it and turning it into a safe haven for women that have been sex trafficked."
Wow.
And I was like, although like I didn't come from exactly that world, being like a mom that was a drug addict and like being homeless, I'm like, you don't like, to me, watching my wife be a mom is the greatest thing in the world. Like I love that. Like they're like, what do you love to do? I'm like, dude, I love being a dad and watching them. It's great. But I couldn't imagine my wife having to go through that. Like I look at that, like when I see how we're supposed to treat a woman, I'm like, if that was my wife, how would I treat her? Like, it's like, I wouldn't allow. So I always put myself, is that my daughter, is that my wife? And so I said, hey, every question I get for the rest of the month, I'll donate, right? So whether it's $1,000, $2,000, I'll donate what I make for every question asked to me, and then I'll match it, right? So I can give them something. Like I want to do that, but here's the thing: you're telling your story, and I'm like, man, I need to connect you with these guys because how powerful it'd be. And then I'm sitting here going, I need to connect you with these people because I think you could do really well on the net. I'm going to show you because. So, this is just the feature.
Oh, I know Pat, whatever they
Patrick, that's who I was with dinner with last night.
Oh my God, I keep hearing about this guy.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's an amazing guy.
Amazing.
Integrity.
So he's amazing.
Okay.
So this is his app. Okay. So it's just me. So, but there's these people on here, right? And you ask these are the featured experts, right? So you can become a featured expert. But there's all these people on here, and
how many people are there?
That's just the feature. So there's thousands and thousands. But look, there's people that struggle with addiction, right? So they ask questions, right?
And they help them. I love that.
And you could. So that's what I'm saying. Your story, you be on here, like business, everything. And then look, here's the thing. Here's why I like it. I charge the least amount. You can charge whatever you want for a text question, whether it's $10, $100. I charge 10 the least. The reason why, for me, it's about really helping. And if you're serious, $10 is nothing. And if I know you're going to be willing to pay $10, that's a question that I know you really want to help.
Exactly.
But that's where I was like, for you, I think you can clean up on here because there's not a lot of that. But that's what I'm saying. So as you're telling that story, yeah, you're on there, and it gives you a way to give back and to help others.
I love it.
So,
I love it. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah,
we were at dinner last night. He was
he lives here, right?
He does.
Real estate investor or something like that. Like a great person, right?
He owned an insurance agency and sold it, and for big money. And now he just does he has valuetainment, which is just he does.
So I met his guy who does the podcast.
Who?
The one who does valuetainment.
Yeah, there's Adam, there's Vinny.
Who did I meet again? I forgot one. But one of them.
Yeah.
They only do.
I just did it.
What's his name?
Vinny.
Vinny. He's crazy.
Yeah. So you should have heard him yesterday. We did a podcast with him, and
I gotta take a picture, send it to him.
yeah. So we did a podcast yesterday.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
He came off the rails. It was great. You can even see there. He's going off.
Oh, my God.
We're spinning. We're throwing him under the bus, by the way.
I can't wait.
So he's fantastic, and you know what he is? He's just real, and he's authentic, and he talks about it. He's credit to him. He's a friend. He's been sober for a little over a year, and it's changed his life. So proud of him. He opened up about it. He's open about it. And they're just doing amazing things, and they're good people to know here. They're generally good people, and they come from all walks of life, which is really cool.
I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, you get a chance to see it, and I'll text me afterwards.
We'll send out a picture.
Yeah, we'll send a picture of it. And so I know we got to wrap up. It's already been over 45 minutes already, which is amazing. Went by like that.
We had fun.
I appreciate you coming on. And by the way, I really do love the glasses. Like, I swear to God, the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know, I might get me some. I was sitting there with Dior. She's already got a shopping problem, so there'll be more. But it's just, one, how can people find you? One, and the second is anything you want to leave people out there with that could be struggling. And look, I know you said help men too, but let's do this for the women. That's an issue. So where can everyone find you? And then for the women, get the best piece of advice you could for the women out there.
Absolutely. So first of all, it was an honor to be with you today. I had fun. You can find me on Instagram at Coach Stormy with the Y. You know what? My greatest piece of advice would be, you could be doing anything that you want, but it's really how bad do you want it. How you start is not how you have to finish, but it's about you deciding that it's your responsibility to make the proper decisions to get to whatever that vision of your life is that you have. I don't care how you start. I don't care about your college education, your lack of college education, how many kids you have, what you did in your past. You can start right now in this moment. You can get off this interview today and decide, you know what, that's all I needed to hear. Today's the day. Remember, a decision happens in an instant, but the process is the journey. But it's the greatest journey if you decide to do it for yourself.
I love that. First of all, Stormy bringing the storm. This is like been one of my favorite episodes. Because I love it, and I love just being real and authentic. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate it. That's it.